The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the host of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Cedar Fair Entertainment Company, the amusement industry, and the business of fun. Here are your hosts, Karsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Hu.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast where we cover Cedar Fair, Cedar Point, and everything to do with fun. And this week proves to be another interesting week as we have a lot to talk about.
A lot, but we're bringing back one of the more, I think, at least for me, one of the more fun episodes from our first season.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Did we even do this last year? I don't remember it.
Yep. Yes, we did.
It's a blur. We've done 52 episodes after this one, so.
Yes.
Well, so spoiler, if you can't tell by the name of this episode as you're listening, we're going to be playing Cedar Fair Grinch later. And I remember, right? Cedar Fair Grinch?
Yep.
I remember playing Cedar Fair Santa, what you would give to the parks, but I don't remember doing this.
Yeah, we did it the same as last year. We did it the episode before Cedar Fair Santa.
Okay.
So basically what both of these are is, well, Cedar Fair Grinch is taking something away from each park within reason. What we kind of honestly think has a good chance of leaving each Cedar Fair park next year. I mean, obviously, not all these are going to happen, or actually, honestly, I don't think any of our predictions from last year happened. But because I don't think any Cedar Fair parks got rid of anything after this year. But then obviously, conversely, next week we'll be in the giving mood. We'll do Cedar Fair Santa, and we will decide which park, or at each park, what is an honest guess of what might be the next thing to be added.
Okay.
For the following year.
So we're just
obviously we're not going to be sitting up here like, I hate Gatekeeper. Cedar Point's going to get rid of that. We're going to actually give it some honest thought for 2 seconds.
Yeah, so
I've got a really good one for Cedar Point.
We're just picking a ride to get rid of. Does it have to be a coaster?
Yep.
It can be whatever you want.
I don't think it
can
could,
if you want.
Yeah, I mean, don't get rid of a Dippin' Dots cart, but if you want to say just for talking's sake, Cedar Point will get rid of Hugo's or something, you could say that.
Okay.
Wow, that's a hot take right there.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's
all right.
That's kind of the level we're going for.
Well, before
you just have to have a solid argument, I think.
Okay.
Well, that'll be the rule.
Well,
we're jumping ahead.
Yeah, before we get to that, we have a couple things to talk about. So, Karsten, do you want to kick us off?
Absolutely. First and foremost, I was wrong on my prediction. Evan was definitely wrong on his prediction. I picked December 13th, I think 2 podcasts ago, and I think he picked Christmas.
I just said Christmas.
Yeah. So, and then Kyle, I don't think, he wasn't there that episode. But anyway, without further ado, Top Throw 2 has been topped off, meaning the spike is complete, 100%. It's been put together.
Not just the spike. The entirety of new track.
Yep. Everything has been, put down. If you have been watching Tony's X account, you can see that they came out with a video and they show the topping off of the tower, 420 feet, which is mind-boggling. It's crazy. It looks looking at the video and stuff, it looks like it's taller than the actual original top hat, but it's obviously not. I'm excited.
It really does. From the perspectives that they posted, I'm like, that looks taller.
Right. We were sent some exclusive photos from the park themselves, and we posted those photos and also the video of the topping off of the tower and everything. But yeah, I'm super excited. I know that they also released in that video that parts, I guess you could say, of the trains are coming together, as in they got a part of a blue train on the front, and then they've got I think a part of the gray train, or I'm sorry. I
think it's a blue car, and then 3 silvers, and then the final blue.
Okay. Yes. Which is interesting. They said that obviously that's not going to be what the final scheme is going to be. It's going to be blue, silver, and black. But this actually has me very, very interested and intrigued on it. Why would you put all those random color and not the actual physical train. Obviously, they're not all there. To build the train like that has me thinking that testing in some way, shape, or form might be very, very close. It might be some pull through the station, obviously in the beginning, checking clearances and things like that. But could we get a launch by New Year's?
I doubt that. They kind of touched on that in the pit stop video where they didn't go into detail, but they did say that some testing to some degree is going to start soon. And I think, like you said, Karsten, we're going to get pull through tests, not even maybe even up the spike, like literally just down the launch track to make sure the fins work with the train. And then we'll put it on the transfer track and let maintenance just, get used to the train. But
just to give everyone like an idea of how fast they have moved in construction and how fast they're moving just in general on this project, lightning fast, to where I think I saw it was on one of my Facebook memory photos. It was an old webcam photo of when Gatekeeper was built. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. How nice. And it was dated from like today. And today was like the first day that they completed like Gatekeeper's first loop or something like that, to where they had all of everything else to go in to build Gatekeeper. And they're already completely done with Top Thrill 2. I mean, testing's gonna, if we have a mild like winter and it's been like that, it's like 50s, 40s, 50s, I can see them possibly maybe launching it. I mean, I don't know. I know that they said in previous videos that they have been testing the magnetics, the LSMs, whatever they're doing with that. So I'm super excited about it. I cannot wait.
Yeah, and I mean, look, this is such a big project that no time is too early. I think fundamentally we all think, well, roller coaster testing starts like late February, March. No, if they have an opportunity to test this tomorrow, they're going to test this thing tomorrow. Yeah. It does not matter if it's 6 months away from opening, because they do not want any hiccups on the opening, and there will be because it's a new ride. But they want as minimal issue when this thing opens as possible. So if they can test it, they're gonna, and I think that is awesome. It's so awesome to see that they are going full steam ahead. They are not messing around.
Yeah, I cannot. Honestly, I cannot wait. It's going to be extremely fun. And speaking of fun, I'm just going to jump right into the next small little topic. Is this coming Saturday there's going to be a holiday party. It's Great Ohio Coaster Club's holiday party that they normally have every single year. And everyone gets together and they, have some lunch and then they also invite guests to the parties. This year's guests, they haven't really released a whole lot. I know Don Helbig will be there, which is, I'm really excited about that. And then Tony Clark, obviously from Cedar Point, is going to be there because it's literally right down the street from Cedar Point at Sawmill, which was I'm excited for that. So
have you actually been in the new Sawmill Creek Resort since they renovated it?
I have.
Okay.
Yes. I have, and I stayed there. I think a few nights when we did CoasterCon like 2 years ago. But super excited to learn. Possibly, maybe Tony will have dates for Coaster Mania, coming up, and he'll possibly maybe have a date for Winter Chill Out and more details and things like that. So make sure you stay tuned to the page on Saturday, and I will post everything that I hear, and then we'll obviously talk about it next week. And like I said, I'm super excited. Also, if you are going to the holiday party, or you're not, and you're looking for a really great gift for that Cedar Point Crazy Coaster fanatic, we still have our calendars for sale on our website. You can go to cprundown.com/store. And I believe you can still get them by Christmas. Don't quote me on it. If they don't come by Christmas, I actually had an idea, and this was a few years ago because shipping was kind of crazy a few years ago. What I suggest is print off one of the pictures, one of the covers that's actually on our website, and then say, hey, it's your calendar. only it's not there just yet. It'll be coming shortly.
So you have something to give as a gift, like something
Exactly.
physical.
Yeah, and then be like, hey, it's running a little late, whatever. So we will, but we do have calendars for sale at the holiday party. So if you are going to the holiday party, be sure to say hi to me, as I'll be there. Unfortunately, you guys will not be there. And
Kyle's not flying up from Florida for a coaster enthusiast holiday party. What?
No, I'm not even.
He's not leaving the state that he can actually ride roller coasters in to fly up here.
I'm not even a Great Ohio Coaster Club member, so I'm not invited.
It doesn't. You don't have to be that. You could always tag.
You know what? I'm not either.
But anyway, so if so hopefully some more details will come out, and yeah, so I'll definitely share them with that. But that's all I've got, Evan. If you want to start
we're gonna kind of change. I'm gonna kind of lead the discussion for once. Sorry, Kyle, taking your job, but just because we decided since this was kind of my brainchild last year, and I kind of already did all the introduction for it. But basically, to reiterate, we'll just kind of be mean, take some things away from parks. Even though technically we could and probably should be doing this for the Six Flags parks too, we're going to keep it to just Cedar Fair parks for at least maybe this year. Yeah. Maybe at the end, if we're feeling frisky, we could each pick like a Six Flags park to pick on just real quick, just to spice things up. But so basically just go park by park in the Cedar Fair chain. And we have a list in no particular order that we're going to go through. And yeah, so I guess obviously the obvious answer to start is Cedar Point, because primarily we are Cedar Point. And I think last year my cop-out answer was Corkscrew, but I decided to change it up this year. And I went with Super Himalaya because I don't think it fits in anymore with that midway whatsoever.
Ooh,
there's no advantage to getting rid of it, I don't think. Maybe to put in another crappy flat ride, but that's the one that I can see being the man out.
Dang, I like that ride too. I'm gonna go, and this pains me. This really pains me.
But he's gonna be canceled for this one, I have a feeling.
No, and you probably will agree with me, but everything that we've seen in all the renderings and things like that.
I already know where you're going.
Snake River Expedition, the awesome boat ride.
That's saying if it even comes back this year.
Right. I think it's going away. I don't think it's coming back. But maybe it'll go away and then come back as in
for like the fourth time.
They'll be like, oh, hey, we're going to revamp everything and we're going to open it up in 2025.
It's going to be Snake River Expedition 2.
2. But yeah, so that's my take.
That's a good one. It's a good one.
All right. Is it my turn?
Yep.
All right. I am going Max Air.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yep.
Actually thought about this one.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it, and then the reason I ended up going with Himalaya is because, like, I don't know, like they touched that midway already, but I like that answer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And they didn't like touch Max Air though. Max Air never got a
anything
fancy retro sign looking thing. So
yeah, that's true. That is true. Mm-hmm. And it was down for what, basically 2 years straight.
True, but this past season it was up for a good chunk. So maybe they finally figured out what was wrong with it. So
yeah, good answer. All right, moving right along. Again, in literally no particular order. It was just the Cedar Fair parks as they came up in my mind. Moving on to Carowinds. And my thought was Vortex, the stand-up B&M coaster that is absolute trash. Again, that one actually kind of opens up a little bit of land. But
you just want to say that just because you just hate that ride. But yeah, I don't think they're going to get rid of it just because they just put a brand new control system in it.
They did? I thought that was Nighthawk.
Nope, they did that as Nighthawk too.
Well, for what it's worth, those are my least two favorite coasters in America. Are those two coasters? So
and Simpsons.
Yeah, that's not a roller coaster. That is my most hated ride.
Wow.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm
go with
gonna
Vortex.
I'm gonna floor you a little bit, Evan. Carolina Cyclone.
That's the Aero Looper. The Aero
Yes,
Looper.
that is
Even
the
though they just got
old
Vortex trains on it, the old
that.
Kings Island Vortex trains on it.
No, I think it got new trains with the vest.
No, you're
Right?
thinking of the Boomerang.
That's the Carolina Cyclone is what I'm. I don't know what.
Yeah, that's the Aero Looper.
Is it that is? Oh, okay, my bad.
You're thinking of Flying Cobras.
My
Boomerang.
bad. Yes, I'm thinking of Flying Cobras.
The Boomerang.
Yes, Flying Cobras is going to go away.
Okay. I don't mind that either. That's not a great ride.
I don't see a whole lot of people like getting in on it, being super excited. I never really see a whole line for it.
Even when the park is busy.
And it makes me sad because it's Mindy Racer from Jogga Lake. So
yeah,
it's got a little part of my heart, but I'm just like, it was bad when it was at Jogga Lake, and it's still bad now.
Bad there. And like, you still see pieces of Mind Eraser showing through the new paint, that like really faded pink and really faded turquoise or whatever.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah. So
I hope you're wrong.
I do too. I really do.
Even though I don't love that ride, but
I mean, it's nice to see, and it's a classic, whatever. So
yeah. Kyle?
I am going Drop Tower.
Ooh. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's
Man.
Especially because it's back in that back corner that like I don't think people know it even exists.
It is very true. That's a kind of dead corner, especially when we did
really dead.
When we did Coaster Con this past year or this year. There was hardly anybody that was over there. So I could see that.
Again, even on busy days, we walk right on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small drop tower. I'll take Power Tower over it.
Yeah.
That's a good one. It's a good one. Moving on to the other southeast park, kind of southeast, King's Dominion. And this one might be my first like super surprise, I think. I'm saying Backlot Stunt Coaster as we know it. As we know it. Okay. Stay tuned for next week for further explanation.
Oh.
But Backlot Stunt Coaster is going to be mine for King's Dominion.
That's sad.
I think you'll be happy when you hear the rest of my. And this has been a long running rumor, but
okay, fair enough.
Keep it going, Carson.
I'm trying. I'm trying to think of something, and I don't think at King's Dominion. I'm not a big fan of like water rides, and it seems like Cedar Fair is moving away from water rides. So I actually want to say Whitewater Canyon is going to go away from King's Dominion. I think that they possibly could get rid of that.
Their Thunder Canyon style ride?
Yes.
Okay. They all have like
big raft.
There's like big raft ride. There's Thunder Canyon. There's Wildwater Canyon. There's Whitewater Canyon. There's a lot of different names for those. But okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind it.
Kyle.
All right, this one is gonna get me hate specifically from Evan and if Jared listens, but I'm going Shenandoah Lumber Company. Their log flume.
No.
Yep. Oh.
I love that log flume. Love that log flume.
I am taking it out. I am getting rid of it.
Well, both of you were in the same part of the park at least.
I'm taking mine out. Kyle's taking that out, and we're gonna have like a huge like giga coaster.
Yeah. Well, to show you how much I love that ride, the last time I was at King's Dominion, it was just a stop in on the way to Busch Gardens. Sorry, King's Dominion, but we were there for like maybe 3 hours, and the only ride that we rode more than once was the log flume. So, even with Intimidator 305, even with Twisted Timbers, heck, even with Dominator. We chose the log flume to be our multi-ride ride of the day. So
I can see that.
Yeah, you're getting some hate from me, Kyle. All right, moving on to some smaller Cedar Fair parks, which I think will be kind of harder to pick because I feel like there's even the smaller rides add more value to the park. But went with Dorney Park next,
yep.
And I think this was my answer last year, but I'm choosing it's called Revolution, but it is their inward facing, like Max Air style swinging ride.
An old school one.
Yep.
It's fun. It's an old school one.
It's up against their old Dinosaurs Alive area. It seems like they're kind of revamping that area of the park with Iron Menace right there. So I could see that being on the shopping block.
Well, I'm going to get probably a lot of hate for this.
And you say Demon Drop because you said it last year.
I know. I did say Demon Drop last year. No, it's not Demon Drop.
Okay.
It's actually Possessed.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it for the same reason because of Iron Menace there?
That, and then also I think like it's tired.
Old.
It just is tired, and like I could possibly see them maybe keeping it around and like possibly giving it, some new love and revamping it, but that's a lot of money to do something for that. And the ridership's not like crazy and stuff. And obviously this is another Jogga Lake / Six Flags coaster that got moved over.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I could see Possessed having its days numbered. So that's what I'm picking. Kyle, what do you got?
I am going to take out Wild Mouse.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's not an Arrow Mouse, is it?
Is it? I don't know. It might be.
Is it Arrow? No.
I honestly...
No, it's not. The
Is
Arrow
it?
one's at Valley Fair.
Okay.
And California.
And
yeah, I was going to say,
Michigan
they're
too,
very
right? Doesn't Michigan have one?
clunky. They're very clunky.
Yeah. But yeah, same kind of reason that Carson gave. It's old, it's tired, we can put something new there.
Yeah. I could see that. Even if it's like just a good flat ride or two.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And yeah, Michigan's Adventure. That was another. I always forget about that Arrow Mouse because it was down when I was there. As was Shivering Timbers. As was their Log Flume. That wasn't a good visit.
So you were just walking around in the hot sun.
Pretty much. I rode Thunderhawk from Jogga Lake.
Hey,
that was my 350th credit. Because it was going to be Shivering Timbers, but then it was down. So, sad days. Anyways, another smaller Cedar Fair park. Let's move on to Worlds of Fun, which did finally get something new this past year, and it was a huge hit, Zambezi Zinger. But being that is in the Africa section of the park, and it seems like that might be kind of like we're going to renovate this part of the park, really make it nice and spiffy. I'm going to take out Boomerang.
Oh, okay. I was actually thinking about possibly taking out Boomerang.
I mean, we could repeat answers, but if you feel inclined to switch your answer, go ahead.
Oh no!
But yeah, it's right next to their brand new ride, and I mean, it looks like crap. I mean, even when I was there, it was really faded and just horribly painful. It still has the old original Vekoma trains on it that you just smack your head around. It's just an awful ride. Get rid of it. It sucks. Goodbye.
I'm actually going to go towards a flat, and obviously I'm going to replace it with something Zamperla. Stay tuned next week.
Ooh.
And, I know, right? And
we love Zamperla on this podcast.
And it makes me sad because I'm a big fan of these, but I don't know. It's just old. Which would be the Bamboozler.
And what is the Bamboozler?
Which is pretty much like a stick to the wall kind of ride.
Oh, a roundup type ride, like you see at the carnivals. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
For the same reason that it's old and crappy.
Get rid of that and maybe put something newer in there. So
just put a Nebulas in it every circular flat ride that we get rid of.
Yes, but it'll be like the world's fastest and tallest Nebulas.
Ugh, my tummy no feel good.
Yeah. So anyway, Kyle, what do you got?
I want to get rid of Steel Hawk. You guys know what that is?
I do, which I
think so.
It's their old...
Describe it.
It's the Windseeker that came from Knott's Berry Farm, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For whatever godforsaken reason, they decided to not Even though it was named Windseeker at Knott's Berry Farm.
That's such a weird name for it too.
Well,
like
it got painted like the Windseekers when it came from Knott's Berry Farm. They're just like, nah, Steelhawk.
That's the one, though, that at Knott's Berry Farm, it made headlines because it got stuck at the top for like 7 hours or something stupid like that. So I almost wonder if the name change was be like...
It was multiple times, by the way.
Yeah, but like the one...
Wasn't there... Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, the one that it like really... It got stuck a lot, but the one time it literally got stuck for like 7 hours, and they had to bring in the fire department to get people down. It was crazy.
I wonder if it still gets stuck, or if like Worlds of Fun, like it's World of Fun so small that they're just like pushed under the rug.
There was something, and because I think Kyle probably pays the most attention to Knott's Berry Farm out of any of us, because I've never been there, and Carson, you've been there like half a day.
Yeah.
Wasn't there something like when they had a new mechanism that was supposed to help when it gets stuck, the Windseekers, and the state of California for whatever reason was like, nope, that's not allowed, and that's why it was like kind of a problem, and they just decided to get rid of it.
Yeah,
because the state of California didn't really like the new advancements they had made with it for whatever reason.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Interesting. Steelhawk. That's just weird. I'm just looking at it right now. It's weird. They put a name in it. They're like, guess it's Steelhawk.
It's like they RMC'd a Windseeker. Steelhawk. Steel Seeker.
It's like changing Windseeker at Cedar Point to like Steel Vengeance if Steel Vengeance was never,
Yeah.
Like
Well, and it kills me because at Knott's Berry Farm it was named Windseeker, but it had a different color scheme. It was like I don't know, pastel-y, like turquoise and yellow, and then so they move it to Worlds of Fun, paint it the normal Windseeker colors, but then they changed the name.
Yeah, it used to actually be purple.
It had like purple and turquoise, and
it looked I thought it looked really good. And
it was supposed to fit in with like the sunset at the top, and I can't really remember offhand.
They went ham on it. But
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, this was a unintended perfect segue. Let's move on to Knott's Berry Farm. And we might get more news on this. I think 2 days from now, Knott's Berry Farm is making an announcement for something. I think it was Snoopy holding like an envelope that said like don't open till 12/7 or 12/8 or whatever. So obviously that signals that they're getting something new in Planet Snoopy. But I do think that since it has been the project has been idle for probably a year now, they will also announce that Montezuma's Revenge will be no longer.
Oh,
that grand, awesome project that they were going to do is canceled. So sorry.
They say that it's coming in 2025 or something. I don't know.
I hope, and believe me, any of these rides that are controversial that I say, I don't hope they're gone. I worry about certain rides, and Montezuma's Revenge is definitely one of them.
Yeah, for sure. My pick at Knott's Farm, and this might be kind of unpopular, and Kyle might not like it. I'm not exactly sure where he stands on it, but I wasn't a big fan of the Pony Express.
I could see that.
This the way that like the trains load you in and
they
how
hurt.
Tight everything is, and I thought it was going to be like longer than what it was, and it was actually kind of short. So it was
kind of a dumb ride from what I've seen. I mean, I haven't ridden it, but
I feel like they could get rid of that and put in a new. I mean, that takes up a big chunk of space for a little bit, so they might be able to put in like I don't know, maybe a 200-foot coaster or something
like has been rumored for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I don't mind that answer.
What do you have for Knott's?
Sorry, I had to unmute my mic. My answer for Knott's is you were just talking me up as the Knott's fan. I definitely am, but I dislike this ride so much. I don't even remember the name of it, but it's right over there next to Montezuma's. It has this super long train. You guys know what I'm talking about?
What is that called? What is that called?
That is
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh man.
Where's Roller Coaster Database? I'm on it.
Darn it. gosh darn it.
Jaguar.
Oh, man.
Jaguar.
Jaguar, even though it has nothing to do with Jaguars at all,
Yeah.
from what I've seen.
So,
Oh, my gosh. Speaking of that, I had to sit in a line in that stupid tomb thing, and there was no AC.
Wasn't it like 600 degrees when you were in California too?
And it was 600 degrees, and there was everyone kept opening an emergency exit door because it was so freaking hot. And and I'm like, Lauren's like, it's gonna be a short line. I'm like, okay. And she underestimated how short the line was, and yeah, the train was like super long. It was a cool ride, but I could see it going away. Yeah.
It's like that at Nickelodeon Universe in Minnesota, the Pepsi Orange Streak or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like one of those. It just doesn't really do much. It's not tall or fast. It just kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a long, kind of thrilling train ride.
Yep.
All right. Good one. Good one. Let's move on to Canada's Wonderland, which I think I'm doing a repeat answer from last year, but I'm saying they're SLC flight deck because they suck. I don't need to give any more explanation.
Yeah, I was saying, I'm gonna the backlot stunt coaster because when I rode it, the last time I was in Canada, I wasn't a huge fan of that, and I thought it was kind of meh. So
really,
that's my
see.
Yeah.
I thought theirs was the best of the three.
None of the effects and everything were working, so it was just kind of like driving through everything and just kind of like whoa. And I was like making comments like, "Oh, here comes the cops!" Oh wait, oh they don't care.
Well, I rode it in 18, so it was all still working then. So
Okay.
It's a little disappointing.
It must be working.
Isn't-
Now. Maybe it was having an off year or something. Who knows?
I haven't been to Canada's Wonderland, but isn't that in like a really like kind of like off area of the park? Like it's kind of on its own.
Yeah, and then so also kind of like by the water park-ish kind of.
Okay, and they've been expanding their water park a lot.
At least I think. Don't quote me on it. I'm
Okay.
bad with stuff like that, but
I need
that's
to
my
get to
guess.
Canada. I want to go to Canada's Wonderland next year. I'm making that happen. All right, Kyle.
I share an answer with you. That is the only ride I have ever gotten off, ever, and been like, yep, don't ever need to do that again.
I haven't ridden it. Obviously, haven't been there, but I mean, it's an old SLC. It has the old restraints that are so like, they're so close to your face, and it's just claustrophobic. It hurts. It's not fast. It's not thrilling. It's just pain.
Mm-hmm.
So, good call. I can't stand those. Some of the ones that they've renovated are decent with new trains and stuff, but they're just still not great rides.
It's just bad. Like most people will tell you that the one next door, their Full Air Time Warp, is the worst they've ever been on. No, I'd marathon that thing before I went back on flight deck.
I have also heard that is an awful ride, but
It's not great, but you compare it to flight deck, and it's like Millennium Force, man. It's awesome.
so do you share the same disdain for all SLCs, or is it this particular
one
one that is just so god awful?
That one specifically.
All right.
I don't know what it was, but I mean, it was kind of like we were just talking about with Karsten. It was a super hot day. It was like well over 100 degrees when I was there, and I don't know. Like I rode it in like the middle of the day when you need a break, because the sun's just draining you. And I
ride the SLC.
So I had fast lane for the day. I had fast lane plus for the day. So I'm like, I'm gonna ride everything. And I don't know. I went on that, and I felt like someone was repeatedly punching me in the head. Like I got off the damn thing, and I almost threw up. Like I couldn't see straight for like an hour. Like it just knocked me down.
Love it.
Good. So this is the only time that we had two of the three of us say the same answer.
Yeah.
So Canada's Wonderland, you got to make something happen here. All right. I think we're moving on to the only Cedar Fair park that I have been to that neither of you two have. Correct me if I'm wrong. Valley Fair.
Never been to Worlds of Fun either. So yeah.
But
Yeah.
Kyle, you've been to Worlds of Fun, no?
I've been to Worlds of Fun, not Valley Fair.
Gotcha. Well, Valley Fair, it's kind of a strange laid out park. It's kind of just a big circle, but then in the back, there's like an offshoot, like just dead end that runs into a roller coaster, Excalibur, and their Thunder Canyon ride, which is actually named Thunder Canyon. And to Carson's point before about whichever water ride he was getting rid of, they're money suckers for parks. They take a lot of money to upkeep. It's in the back of the park next to a lot of open land. Let's rip it out. Goodbye, Thunder Canyon from Valley Fair.
Nice. Mine is a little more simpler than that. I just want to get rid of the Larson Looper. And so we're just going to get rid of Delirious. And pretty much, if anyone doesn't know what that is, a Larson Looper, literally, it's just a loop, and it just goes around in a circle. You'll see it at...
You've seen it at carnivals, and they're named Fireball or Super Loop.
Yeah, so get rid of it.
Suck.
Get rid of it. So.
That's actually kind of a new ride, too, for the
2018.
Park. Yeah. I've ridden one at, I think it was Six Flags New England. Like, they're not fun, but it's just like, why are these at real amusement parks?
Right. I'm like, I can get this at a carnival. I want this at a carnival, not.
I want it at a carnival where I actually feel like I might fall out because I actually might really fall out.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Good choice. Just because those rides are stupid.
Mm-hmm. Kyle, what do you got?
Yeah, I agree with Karsten on this one. Get rid of the Larson Loop.
All right.
Love it.
Good. Bye, Larson Loops. All right. Let's move on to our other home park, Kings Island.
Oh.
And for the same reasons as above, at least from a ride operation standpoint, Congo Falls. Goodbye. And it doesn't really get a line for it being a water ride and in a very accessible area of the park. Like even their Thunder Canyon, whatever the heck it's called, I should know. What is that? Whitewater Canyon? I think. I mean, that is like off the beaten path, and that gets a huge line. Where Congo Falls just doesn't. And I don't know. Like I feel like Action Zone is in a need of a big revamp in the next few years, and I feel like if Invertigo could be gone too, but that and Congo Falls right there, that could be something.
I was going to say, yeah, my pick's definitely going to be, unfortunately, it's going to be Invertigo.
That's not unfortunate. It is very fortunate, actually.
I mean, I liked it. Like everyone else is kind of like, but I'm like,
I hated it until Stinger closed at Dorney Park, and they took that train and put it on Invertigo. For whatever reason, that made a huge difference. And now Invertigo is at least like
it's tolerable.
Yeah.
But it's still like when you ride it, you like ride it with your teeth gritting, like
like
It's
just like, and it's kind of like Flight Deck for Canada's Wonderland. It's like this park is too good for a ride like this.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Kyle,
I don't want to get rid of anything. Everything stays.
Kyle loves Kings Island too much.
Everything stays. No, Boo Blasters can leave.
Ooh. That's a spicy one.
It doesn't work.
Wow.
Also,
I mean,
go ahead.
It's old. it needs, if it's not leaving, they need to do some work to it to make it worth keeping.
Get Sally.
Yes. Carowinds just redid theirs, allegedly. I don't know what good it did. But maybe. But Boo Blasters, all right.
Can we take a middle of the road intermission real quick? I have a task for us to figure out.
Sure.
Yes.
So I'm on Kings Island's website, and I don't believe that the picture they're using that they claim is Adventure Express is Adventure Express. I think it's Cedar Creek Mine Ride. Can you guys help me out here?
Let's see.
Are we still recording? Like, is this going to be part of
this? This is going to be part of it. Real time. We're going to figure this out.
Everybody else can do this as well. Like, follow along.
If you go to visitkingsisland.com/rides and experiences.
Oh, that is definitely Cedar Creek Mine Ride.
Yeah.
They just redid Adventure Express too, and they couldn't use a real picture.
Like,
of
I don't
it.
ever remember Adventure Express being up that high, but then I was looking in the background, and I'm like, that isn't right because there should be more trees. But then also I'm thinking, well, if it's Cedar Point, I should see Dragster or something. But then if you The telltale sign is if you really zoom in, the restraints is the one bar on Mine Ride, and
Right.
not ratchets like
Oh, yeah,
Adventure Express.
That's definitely.
So now they have a video attached to the page. Okay, they did at least use the current video, like with all the new theming and stuff. I was like, okay, they redid this ride and they're just not going to update anything about it, but they did at least give it its brand new POV. But yeah, that is Cedar Creek Mine Ride.
That's what
The
I
picture
thought.
at the top of the page.
So anyone go check that out and go message Chad, the park PR or whatever he is, and say, hey, you guys are using Cedar Creek Mine Ride.
Whoever's
photos.
doing your website. Okay, so now I'm just going to scroll through the rest and see if there's any
That's funny.
any other mess ups.
I'm sure there is. They,
But
they
anyway,
probably needed some kind of stock
Yeah.
photo. So
anyway, Boo Blasters is mine. Goodbye. If you're forcing me to
Yeah,
take something
I
out
know.
of Kings Island, it's going to be Boo Blasters.
So, little behind the scenes, my girlfriend Maya, who is sitting right next to me right now, loves Boo Blasters. So when she heard me repeat what you said, because I got earbuds in, but when she heard me repeat Boo Blasters, I think she about had a heart attack.
I don't care.
So, and Kyle does not care.
I don't like it. I
does not care.
I'm all for having dark rides, but I'm also for having dark rides that work, and Boo Blasters doesn't.
Okay, Mr. Universal Studios Dark Ride extraordinaire. Not everything could be Men in Black.
I still, like, come on, do something else.
All right, well, you just go ride Spider-Man after we log off here, and
Oh,
Gotta
don't
go to
think I
Costco
can
first,
tonight.
don't ride Spider-Man.
Wait, actually, I'm pretty sure right now they close at like 7 or 8 during the week. It's actually pretty inconvenient.
oh, poor you,
Darn.
poor you.
All right, let's get back on track
Anyway.
here.
All right, yeah, we got 2 more parks. So I'm gonna keep up the same theme I've had, getting rid of water rides because they cost too much to run. We're getting rid of Grand Rapids at Michigan's Adventure because it is yet another Thunder Canyon style ride that probably costs the park way too much to operate, and it's not like connected to their water park. From what I remember, it's kind of off on its own. So I feel like let's get rid of that one and just keep all the water stuff near the water stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So get rid of Grand Rapids.
I've got a really, really hot take, and getting Shivering Timbers.
Is this a stay tuned for next week?
Stay tuned for next week. Yep. But
And RMC
getting
is
rid-
coming to Muskegon,
complete-
Michigan.
completely get rid of Shivering Timbers, and
Completely.
I have to find out.
I have heard that ride is rougher than it should be. I didn't
Yeah.
get to ride it, even though I got to stare at it for 4 hours.
Oh, you never got to ride that?
No, it was like down. That was, and I don't want to bring like bad press to Cedar Fair Parks, but that was when it had its little. We were there like 2 weeks after it had its little go-kart incident where the trains played bumper cars,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was still closed, and I think there was damage to the track and,
you
stuff.
did
So
that that drive is so dreadful. Like, if anyone
not only did we do that drive, we did that drive from Chicago. So we had to go south along Lake Michigan and then north along Lake Michigan. And
Like-
only to get there. And Shivering Timbers was down. The Log Flume was down. And the Arrow Wild Mouse was down most of the day, and we didn't get to ride it.
I'm a big fan of that park, especially the water park. The water park's really nice there. But that drive trying to get there is, it's bad. Anyone just look it up. You're literally probably driving through like blank fields probably for a good 7 or 8 hours. Maybe not 7, 8 hours, but it feels like that. So at least when I
I
was
think from here it's like 5 or 6 hours. But
it's yeah.
and also I don't know if, because I came from Chicago, but I don't know if coming from here you have to go through the city of Grand Rapids at all. But we did. And for whatever reason, the city of Grand Rapids on a rainy, dreary Friday afternoon was just gridlock for some. And we didn't even see the city. We were on like the outer belt or whatever. Grand Rapids isn't even a big enough city to have an
Those
outer
Michigan
belt.
drivers.
It was, oh my God, it was the worst. And it was, And then we get there and it's like kind of raining a little bit. And then, like I said, the marquee attraction. And then for me, the marquee attraction, the log flume, where it's closed. So,
Kyle, what do you have for Michigan's adventure?
I am getting rid of Thunderbolt. It's their Super Himalaya.
Oh,
all right. I was like,
Okay.
Thunderbolt from Kennywood?
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, why not? Put in a good flat ride, right?
Yep.
But that's next week's episode.
Right.
All right. Rounding it out, California's Great America. And I did this intentionally because, we all know what's happening with California's Great America. So why not do the worst for last?
Hopefully it
But
stays around, but
I had to restrain myself from just saying the whole damn park. But I went with their Witch's Wheel style ride, the Orbit.
No, that was a fun ride. I got to ride
But
that.
I have a good reason.
Oh,
Not just because they're old or whatever. It's because
Dang.
that park's going to close. There's a couple other Witch's Wheel rides in the chain. Carowinds and Worlds of Fun have one at least.
Mhm.
That's the only two I can think of off the top of my head. So why not close that one early at California and use it for parts?
It's called Orbit, by the way.
I thought that's what I said.
Did you?
Or did I not say the name? I don't know.
Yeah.
Orbit. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, but say hello to parts of it at Carowinds and Worlds of Fun.
I'm gonna say Patriot for mine. I'm gonna say that is their what I think it was a stand-up coaster, and then it got converted.
It was a stand-up. Now, because this is worth answering, because California's Great America, are you scrapping it, getting rid of it for good, or is it getting moved?
It would get moved.
Okay.
It was actually a fun ride. Like
I did not hate that
It was
ride.
a stand-up, and then it turned to sit down like Rougarou. But I loved it. I thought it was cool. The only thing
it was
thought
small, but it was fine.
the only thing I thought, the only thing is it was small, but the only thing I thought was kind of weird was they didn't have like an actual station roof.
Yeah. Same with
anything.
Flight Deck.
Yeah.
With Flight Deck, they're invert.
So, I would save that, and also Flight Deck and a few other rides around there.
But Patriot's the first coaster.
Yep, that'd be the first one. Then it'll probably go to like, I don't know, Worlds of Fun or something. Who knows?
That wouldn't be a bad addition.
Right? It's tiny. It would work for that kind of park. Why not?
Yeah, well, we're getting ahead of ourselves. This is next week.
Right.
Kyle, let's round it out.
Okay, I have two. I have a real one and I have a fake one.
Okay.
All right, which one do you want me to start with?
Let's go with the real one first.
All right, my real one's Grizzly. They're a mean old wooden coaster,
Agreed. That ride can go.
especially with Gold Striker on that park. It doesn't need to be there.
Mm-hmm. God, please save Gold Striker somehow.
All right, and then my fake one is Cedar Fair Santa, Cedar Fair Grinch and Palace Santa. I'm taking out Berserker and I'm giving it back to Kennywood. It's their Bayern Curve. I'm taking out their Bayern Curve and I'm giving one back to Kennywood.
So is that Berserker was always California's?
Yeah, I don't mean like give it back
Okay.
like they took it. I just mean that Kennywood had one. That
Kennywood
got taken
deserves
out.
that. And didn't they sell it to like Knoebels or something?
Yeah, but Kennywood deserves it more.
Okay. All right. I didn't get to ride that when I was there for whatever reason. I think it was mostly down, and then when it was open, that was like the only thing that had a line, as it should. But honestly, that might be a good real one. That might be a good real answer.
Yeah.
Coming out with the good ones.
Yeah, I like that. But I hate to say it, but in a couple of years, we're going to have to legitimately sit here and say the whole damn park.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, they decide to be like, hey, we're gonna
Come on, Salim Basul. Let's see the value in that park, because Richard Zimmerman does not.
Yeah, and by the way, if anyone, obviously people that are listening, feel free to play along with us. Send your predictions like we just did to our email on our Facebook page, and if you send us or whatever, we will actually talk about them on the air.
Yeah, we might maybe we'll run through any Cedar Fair Grinches that get sent our way before we lighten up the holiday mood next week.
It doesn't have to be all the parks. I mean, you could just do your home park, or you can do you know, whatever park.
If you're sitting at home and you're like, I know for a fact Canada's Wonderland is getting rid of Leviathan.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
yeah.
But sure. And send in your Cedar Fair Santas too. We'll throw them in.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
so yeah, next week will be kind of basically the similar structure of this episode. We'll update Top Thrill 2. We'll get the post holiday party report from Karsten, and then we'll be in the giving holiday mood.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
I think we're about done.
That's going to do it from us. It's time to wrap up another episode of the Rundown on Fun. As Evan and Carson said, be sure to tune in for the next couple weeks because we have a lot to do. That's all I have.
Yep. Cedar Fair Santa next week. Nice, happy. And then it'll be the actual holidays. And yeah, thanks for listening.
And make sure that you share the podcast with all your friends and relatives. And we really appreciate your feedback. So, yeah.
And chime in on Cedar Fair Santa and Cedar Fair Grinch.
All right, that's going to do it. Take it away, Justin.
Thank you for listening to the Rundown on Fun. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date on all things Cedar Fair. As always, be kind to your ride operators, and we will see you on the Midway. Good night.